Hello, it's Carolyn from the Purple Poncho. Today I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful Alpine crochet stitch. It has a lot of texture to it, and it is worked with front post double crochet and regular double crochet and single crochet stitches. It has lots of texture and it's really fun and simple to make. I'm using a size H crochet hook in 5mm. You will need scissors, a yarn needle, and the yarn I'll be demonstrating in today is Red Heart Super Saver. It's a size 4 worsted weight and it's in the color Perfect Pink. So a few things to note about this stitch. I like to start with a multiple of 3 plus 1, and I also like to start with the single crochet stitch. I've seen where you can start with a double crochet, so either way that you want to start is fine, but I prefer to start with a single crochet and end with a single crochet. That way the top and the bottom look the same. I also like to start with the multiple of 3 plus 1. That way the edges will be the same on each side. So you'll have a row with 1 double crochet on each end, and then the next row will have 2 double crochet on each end, and it will alternate that way. So it's more even to me on the edges. So those are the things that I like about the multiple of 3. Now I've also made a sample here using different colors for each row. It's a 4-row repeat. So I've started with the white. Like I said, I like to start with the single crochet. So I have row 1 in white, row 2 is in this pink color, and then row 3 is in white again, and then row 4, starting our pattern repeat, is in this minty green. I thought it would be easier for you to see exactly where you're putting your stitches in which rows by showing you this multicolored sample. So your odd rows are worked on the wrong side, and all the odd rows are in white. Okay, and then all the even rows are in the colors. So this is 1, 2, and then 3 is in white, and row 4 is in the mint. So row 4 is worked into row 2, or around row 2, and into row 3 up here. So the front or right side rows are worked down two rows below, also working in the current row. So I know it's harder to see when you have a solid color where to put your stitches or what row you're working on. So I wanted to make up a little sample like this. I hope this is helping. So again, then you do your odd row and then you come back with your even row. So your first row, I like to start with the front post stitch, okay, and go across and then come back with your odd row. And then the next even row, you start with a double crochet. So you have 2 double crochets and then a front post and then continue on. Then the next time you come to the front, you'll have 1 double crochet on the edge and start with your front post and then continue with the pattern repeat. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so to begin, make a slip knot and place it on your hook and chain an odd number of stitches, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'll start with 11 plus 1 for your turning chain. So I have 12 chains. Going in the second chain from the hook, the loop on our hook does not count as a stitch. So there's the first chain and the second chain. So we're going to place a single crochet in the second chain from the hook, and again in the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. And we're going to repeat the single crochet stitch in each chain across, and we'll have 11 single crochet for row 1. And my last stitch of the row. So for row 2, I like to chain 2 for my turning chain in this particular stitch. Chain 2 and turn. You're welcome to chain 3 here if that's what you prefer. Chain 3 is a standard for a double crochet stitch, but the way this stitch works out, I think the chain 2 lays a little flatter. That's my preference. Okay, so I'm placing 1 double crochet in each stitch across. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, 3 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Again, insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, 3 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And we're going to do this all the way across. And my last stitch. Of the row 2. Okay, so I have 11 double crochet. The chain 2 does count as a stitch. Chain 1 and turn, and we're going to place a single crochet in every stitch across. And if you're new to crochet, you can pull your stitches apart and you can see that little space there. Place your hook in there and do a single crochet. And make sure you're going under both of the loops, the V on top, go through both loops, and place a single crochet in each stitch across. And place a single crochet in the top of the chain 2 on the edge of your work, and you should have 11 single crochet. Chain 2 and turn, and this is where the pattern repeat will start. So these 3 rows are just setting up the foundation rows of our pattern so we can start. So again, we're going to be working down here in these, around these double crochet stitches, and we're also going to be working in the tops of these single crochet stitches. Okay, so to begin, yarn over, skipping the first double crochet on the end. We're going to be working around the second post. Insert your hook front to back and back to front. Yarn over, pull through. We're going to be pulling up our yarn to the height, like a little bit higher than our row here for the single crochets, so it's a little bit higher, and you can definitely do this as a looser stitch if you crochet tight. Okay, so try to keep it loose. So yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And that's your front post double crochet. Now we're going to place our next double crochet by skipping the stitch that's directly behind the front post, so the V right here, and we're going to go in the next stitch and work a double crochet. And this is basically our pattern repeat for the rest of our pattern. Front post double crochet around the post and double crochet in the single crochet, making sure you skip 1 stitch in the back. So again, we're going to skip the next post in row 2, working around the post yarn over, pull up a long loop, okay, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Skip the V behind the post, go in the next stitch and make a double crochet. Skip the next post down here, go around the next post, front post, double crochet, pull up a long loop here, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Double crochet in the next stitch, yarn over, skip the next post, go around the next post, yarn over, pull up a long loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Double crochet in the next single crochet, skip the next post, yarn over, insert your hook in around the next post, bring up a long loop, pull through 2, pull through 2. And on the last, we have 2 stitches left. This stitch has already been worked, so in the very last single crochet we're going to place a double crochet. Okay, so that is row 4, and it's the first pattern repeat row. Okay, so we should have 11 stitches, and 11 stitches includes the chain 2 here at the end. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So just whatever stitch count you're working with, just make sure you keep the same stitch count for every single row. Chain 1 and turn. We're going to place a single crochet in each stitch across. The chain 1 does not count as a stitch, so we're going to be making 11 single crochet stitches. And this is the wrong side of the work. All of the front post and double crochet stitches will be on the right side of the work. And the last stitch, make sure you go into the top of that chain 2 and work a single crochet there. So we have 11 single crochet. Now for the next row, chain 2 and turn. And again, we're going to be working around these posts, these double crochet posts, but we're going to be working in between these front posts, and that's how it's going to start alternating. Chain 2 and turn, yarn over, place a double crochet in the next single crochet, so we have 2 on the end. And now working our front post, we're going to come down to the first double crochet that's in between these 2 front posts, and yarn over, pull up a long loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Again, always skipping the single crochet that's directly behind our front post. Go into the next single crochet and place a double crochet. And we're going to repeat this across. And on the end, we have 3 stitches left. This first one is taken up by our post, front post, and we're going to place a double crochet in the last 2 stitches, 1 and 2. So we start our row with 2 double crochet and we end the row with 2 double crochet. So every other row we're going to have a different amount of front post stitches and double crochets. So the first one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the second row here of front post has 4. So that's how we're going to alternate. And to finish the pattern sequence, chain 1 and turn, and place a single crochet in each stitch across. chain 2 and turn. So row 4, 5, 6, and 7, those are the pattern repeat rows. You would just continue repeating those 4 rows for however long you want your project to be. Again, just making a small sample here, and there's lots of variations of this stitch. I've seen if you're a tight crocheter, you could do a treble stitch instead of a front post double. You could do a front post treble stitch so that your stitches might be crunching down or pulling down if you're a tight crocheter. So that's why I suggest doing a longer, pulling up a longer loop here. You could do a treble, front post treble, yarn over twice, and then insert yarn over, pull through. You have 4 loops on your hook. I want to pull back down a little bit. Go through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And that brings your stitch up really nice and tall. So let me show you that again. And then do a double crochet in the next available stitch. Yarn over twice, come down, do a front post treble. See, I'm not pulling it up as high. I'm just kind of keeping it like I normally would. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's definitely an alteration you can make with this stitch if you're a tight crocheter. I'm more on the loose side of crocheting, so doing a front post, just pulling it up a little higher and finishing it off. Okay, so that's one alteration you could do there. Just making sure you keep your tension the same all throughout. I've seen where you could do different multiples. You could do multiples of 2 or 3. If you do a multiple of 2 stitches on this pattern, your edges won't have the same stitch count. So that's why I like to do the starting with multiple of 3. And just make sure that you're coming down around the post and that you're not doing your post around the single crochet above the post. Okay, I've seen there's been some confusion doing it that way. So just make sure you're coming all the way down around the post of the double crochet in the second row from where you're at. And then it gives it that nice raised texture that we're looking for. The back is very flat, and then the front has all the texture and interest. It's kind of thick. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial on how to make this beautiful stitch. I'd love for you to hit subscribe and the notification bell to get notified of new videos coming to my channel. Thank you for being here, and thank you for crocheting with me. Have a great day.